What's up, everyone, and welcome to Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast, episode number 138, presented by Save the Game Media. I'm your host, Kevin, and today Ethan got called into work, so I rallied the troops and got some guest hosts for us. He is the co-host of the Anime Cast, my brother. You're not seeing double. Kyle, how you doing?
You're pointing the wrong way. I'm over here.
Okay, reverse it then. Cameras, how you doing?
Yeah. I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay. All right. All right. We're also joined by the host of Frame by Frame, a film and TV podcast. Amaan, how are you? It's the middle of the night over there, I assume.
Yeah, it's like 1:30 a.m. But yeah, I'm doing good. Hyped, still hyped after that showcase. So good. A lot of new games announced, which I'm excited to talk about.
Yeah, we will be breaking down the Xbox showcase, the extended showcase announcement, because there were some new announcements, the Ubisoft Forward, and we got a little bit of news. I actually cut some stuff from this week because I didn't want to be here for 3 hours. All right. So we're going to get this going and more. But remember, this is an Xbox podcast. We are live every Thursday right here on YouTube. If you can't catch us, make sure check us out on those audio feeds Friday after we are there. Drop us that 5-star review over on Apple, Spotify. If you want to interact with us more, please come and join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. Kyle's exhausted. He was teaching children all day. All right, give him a break. If you want to support us further and keep Kyle alive, okay, teacher salaries, we need your support. Head over to patreon.com/savethegamemedia. Choose the tier that's right for you, like our current Patreon supporters. So thank you to Bucky Blue, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Nikolai at Night, Cypher, Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, The Snack Network, David Hotright, Dave Harp, the Xbox Expansion Pass, and Alpaca Tom returning to the Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, let's dive right into it. No time wasted this week. I got to know, going around the room asking, what have you been playing? I'm going to move that. Normally, there's only 2 people here.
Yeah,
oh, Lord.
It's covering my face.
It's covering your face, Amaan. Kyle, we're going to start with you. What have you been playing this week?
A lot of Diablo 4.
Okay.
It's really good. It's just it's so much fun. So we beat the story, and now we're kind of like in the end game grind, I guess. Still trying to figure a lot of it out. It's different than Diablo 3's was. But yeah, before here I was on Diablo and I felt myself getting pulled into the stats. You know how I love my stats and trying to figure out what's the best build for what. So I was going into that, and it was a lot of fun. And then jumped back into Tears of the Kingdom. So close to 100%ing it fully.
That's crazy.
And it's one of the greatest games of all time, and right up there, probably number 2 of my favorite games of all time.
Mr. Sean Capri, we are literally in 2 different locations right now. Speaking, I'll jump in about Diablo right now since you were talking about that. I don't have anything to say on Tears of the Kingdom. This is we don't talk about that.
If only Nintendo had like a trophy or achievement system, I'd play that game.
That's a weird hill to die on.
There's nothing to track my progress. Like I can't just go to my profile and see all the games I've played or completed. You know, that's just annoying. It just puts me off.
I mean, you can see all the games you've played. It doesn't tell you like how your progress, but who cares?
But it doesn't say, oh, I have 100% of this game. But, I don't know.
Isn't that like the beauty of it? Like I mean, I just post pictures proving I did it. But like I also like, isn't it the beauty of it? Like I kind of hate trophies and achievements lately because I hate being like forced in to do something to like get that fake sense of accomplishment. Like in Tears of the Kingdom, I'm like, oh, this is my goal for the day. I'm gonna go do this.
No, I think I like that fake sense of accomplishment that I get after getting an achievement for some reason. It feels satisfying when I have that platinum trophy or that 100% on my profile.
Kyle, I swear to God, you platinumed all the Atelier Ryza games recently. So like,
yeah, they're all great. What are you talking? So I did that because I love them, not because
personally. See, you like getting that false sense of achievement.
for games you love. That's right.
Games you like.
But I do that regardless of whether there's a trophy or something attached to
it. I wouldn't do it. I like the thought of listeners guessing who's talking the whole show. Oh, do Kyle and I sound the same? That'd be a fun twist. I see. That's one of my problems with Nintendo. Actually, Kyle, is like Kirby and the Forgotten Land has an in-game achievement thing. And it's like collect all the Waddle Dees, but I'm like, well, you don't. What's the difference if I get 80 of them or I get all 100 of them? Like nobody's gonna know the difference except
20.
Me. Who cares though? Like it doesn't change anything. I don't get anything. Plus, I'm gonna sell the game anyway. Like it's gone. It doesn't matter. Let's talk about Diablo though. A little more about Diablo because I haven't put nearly as much time as you because I've been playing some other things. But every time I get on Diablo, I have an absolute blast with it. Like I said, we wrapped up the campaign. I think the campaign dragged a little in Act 5. That act is way too long because 1, 2, 4, and 6 are very quick acts. 3 and 5 go on forever, especially 5. Oh my Lord, it never ends. But once you get to the end game stuff, you just get to run like nightmare dungeons and try to gear up and get all into the fun min-maxing stuff. That is really where the fun of Diablo, I think, comes because you're like, look how fast we're murdering people. Like I know I changed my build, you changed your build yesterday, Kyle, when we were playing together, and it's night and day difference compared to what I was rocking. Just like this is how I'm going to build my guy in terms of I went and looked up like what builds are good for barbarians right now. Night and day difference. We're melting mobs. It feels really good. We're going through things at a bigger pace. But my issue is I can't get any legendaries right now. They won't. And when I do, they're garbage. Yeah. They're trash legendaries. I don't even know. Uniques, are those even a thing? Do I have to go up a higher tier? Like when do those start showing up?
I mean, I have a lot of those.
What is this? Why do they hate me? They're like, oh, you're gonna play more. I don't know. I'm really interested to play more of that. I'm enjoying Diablo. It's a blast all around. I really don't have much more to say. Me and Logan had an in-depth conversation on Diablo last week. If you want to hear more of my thoughts, but I want to talk about the other game I've been playing. Is The Devil in Me, which is the Dark Pictures anthology game that came out a few months ago. It was the last one that they put out. It's about the very first real life like American serial killer, H.H. Holmes, and apparently he killed like over 200 people before he got caught. And this is kind of like they take that character and do something fun with it. I really like this game so far. This is way better than any of the other Dark Pictures games. This is better than The Quarry. I know everyone is talking about how The Quarry was so good. This is way better than The Quarry. First of all, actually scary. It has a serial killer vibe going on, which everyone knows I love. Big fan of those type of horror movies. So translating to a game is much better in terms of like The Quarry was about like werewolves and stuff. And I was like, werewolves aren't scary. Like nothing about a werewolf is scary. They're like, oh, I'm a little wolf. Ooh. Like who cares? All right. But serial killers though, that's where it's at. So I'm enjoying that, playing through with the girlfriend, just having a good time. But Amaan, I want to know what you've been playing.
Ooh, so I've been continuing playing God of War Ragnarok. Let me just say this. It might sound a little fanboy saying this on an Xbox podcast. This game is severely overrated. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It has great moments, I have to say, but the pacing is so bad. You go from very exciting moments in the game, and then suddenly you're just walking around the forest, pretty much doing nothing. But yeah, I'm about like 70% through the game. I just beat the big wolf, Garm. Yeah, that was a really cool sequence. But right after that, I'm walking in a forest for an hour with Atreus, which is not, I'm on that high of, oh my god, this was so cool. Let's see what's next. I'm just walking through a forest. But yeah, again, it's still a great game. Still an 8, 9 out of 10. But I thought the first one handled the pacing so much better. But yeah.
If only there was someone that could have told you that the game wasn't as good as
you said it.
Saying.
You said it, but no one. I remember even I was like, "What is this guy waffling about?" But
come on, there's something you just need to realize. It's that Sony ponies.
Oh, okay, all right. Now we're getting way too fanboy. All right,
I'm just kidding. Every Sony exclusive is overrated, though.
Wow. I disagree with that.
I also disagree with that.
Yeah.
Shout out The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2.
The Last of Us is a good game.
Last of Us Part 1 is amazing. Part 2, great game, but the story is where most people have a problem with. So
no, Last of Us Part 2 sucks. One of the worst games I've ever played in my life.
Ratchet and Clank is properly rated. Okay, fantastic series.
Yeah, but yeah, you were right, Kevin. When you said on the podcast that the pacing was bad, everyone was mocking you for it.
They just
but I agree
fact
with
that you play games really fast.
I know. I didn't even play it that fast. Bree finished almost at the same time I did.
Listen, I'm with you, Kevin. People just play things very slowly.
Slow.
I just don't play it when it comes out.
It's crazy.
Play it like months after launch.
It's like, oh, how long to beat? It says this takes 40 hours. I bet I can finish it in 18.
No, that's me. That's me with all the Trails of games where it's like time to complete 60 hours. I'm like, I have yet to have
RPG.
I have yet to have one go over 30 hours. Like y'all just slow. Let's be real here. Anyway,
I like to think that people playing all these games are just actually pretty dumb, and they just get stuck on all the puzzles. And that's why Sony has started including where the main character just tells you what the solution is.
I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, oh, maybe we should try this. I'm like, bro, I just got here.
I haven't even looked. Is there a rock here? I don't know.
I haven't even had a chance. But all right, enough dunking on Sony first party. All right, because listen, we like a lot of their games. Okay,
Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're freaking love Spider-Man.
I do love Spider-Man. I'm gonna platinum Part 2.
All right, guys, let's get into the news this week because we are chock full of stuff here to talk about. Let's start off with story number 1, and that is going to be our Xbox Showcase recap. We'll go game by game. We'll go through some quicker than others because not everything deserves some conversation. But let's go in order that they were revealed. So, the first game shown, we kicked it off with Fable. We had the IT Crowd's Richard Ayoade. I'm not sure how to say his last name. He was the starring role of the narrator. We did not get a date for Fable. I think that leads me to believe it's going to be 2025, just because they're not confident putting 2024 on it. I would love to be wrong. But Kyle, let's go to you first. What did you think of the Fable reveal?
Looked different than I thought it was gonna. I'm okay with it. It looked very nice. It was very pretty. It had that whimsical Fable like tone to it, which was good. And yeah, I mean, I want to see more. I'm bummed. It seems that it's still a ways out, but it was good.
Okay, Amaan, thoughts on Fable?
Yeah, I agree with Kyle. Very British humor. Very Fable-like, and yeah, I thought the little bits of in-engine, sort of scripted gameplay like the segments they had in the middle of it looked pretty good. So I'm excited to see how this game ends up playing when it comes out. But yeah, no date on it makes me think it's late 2025 around that time. So yeah.
I'm hoping it's earlier 2025, but it's anyone's guess right now because it did. I think the game looked good, like graphic wise, what they showed, because everything was in engine. If we can get that running on the Series X, I think that is a really stellar looking game. I would like to see more gameplay. I know it's been a big thing on social media. It was like, oh, well, Fable wasn't gameplay. They're lying because some of the developers came out and said that there was gameplay in there. And there are bits where you can tell that there was some sort of in-engine gameplay going on, where
like
you're
scripted gameplay segment.
Yeah.
I think the issue is that they like changed the camera angle to be more like cinematic, and that really messes people up.
Yeah. I would say if you're looking at the trailer, I think there's a moment where she throws like a fireball. I think a lot of when she gets caught and he's chasing after her, some of those moments are clearly gameplay where you can kind of see, even if they are scripted moments. So I'm excited to see more Fable. Fable has always been one of my favorite Xbox franchises. So whenever they get around to this is fine. We have plenty of things coming as we will discuss. Just like Compulsion's next game, which was finally revealed. South of Midnight got a reveal trailer. Now, I'll let Amaan go, but I just want to give my piece. The trailer didn't really do much for me. I get they're going for like a southern vibe here. It had sort of a stop motion animation going on where it kind of looked a little stuttery. Didn't really do much for me. And I've seen other people who had the exact opposite reaction. They loved this trailer. They thought the vibe was really awesome. I didn't know what the game was after watching this trailer. I think that was a big problem for me. We now know after they came out and said it's going to be a third-person action adventure game. So that's cool. I just need to see more of it before I give any final judgments. But what are you feeling about South of Midnight, Amaan?
Yeah, I agree with you there. Just got the vibe basically from that dark fantasy, eerie sort of vibe. But Jess Corden, like I think a year ago, gave some info on the game. It's supposed to be like a Uncharted style third person action adventure. So that has me excited. Xbox doesn't have many third person action adventure games, so it could be. This could sort of fill in that category. But yeah, this game probably weighs out 2025, 2026. So yeah, I mean this was just like a announcement of, oh, we're working on something, come join our team sort of thing. So yeah, nothing. It didn't give us much about what the game's about.
What are you thinking, Kyle?
I'm not super big on the art style. I'm glad it was something different though. It didn't look like every other game. So there's something unique about it at least. And then the description you said after I was listening and I was reading that it's going to tackle like some Southern lore mythology stuff, and then tackle some like social, like racial issues in the South. They're not going to shy away from that. So I think there's an interesting premise. I need to see more. It's so far out and there's so little to know about it right now.
Yeah, and I think that's the vibe a lot of people are getting. I know Sam in the chat says love the vibe, but until I see what the gameplay is, I'm with you, Kevin. So I think we're all in agreement there about what South of Midnight is.
I think it's interesting what Kyle just said about the racial, social issues stuff they're going to be tackling, because We Happy Few sort of did that with I think it was set in like Nazi Germany, and they sort of tackled that thing. So I think Compulsion has they like to tackle those type of stories. So yeah, I'm interested to see what they end up doing with it.
Yeah, it's when did We Happy Few come out? Because it's
2019.
Okay, so because it's funny they got acquired at the same time as
I thought it was earlier than that, but it might be 2019.
But yeah, it was one of those games that came out before or right after they got acquired.
2016 was We Happy Few.
That's what I was thinking in my head was 2016.
When was Compulsion's last game?
I think it was We Happy Few.
What? Oh, they must have re-released it 2018. Okay, or done something, or that date's wrong.
It was on PC in like early access, and then when they got acquired, they like polished it and brought it. So
2018 though is when they were acquired and when the game fully came out. So you'd think that this
and that's the year they were acquired as well, I think, right?
Yeah, they were acquired 2018. Yeah. So it shouldn't be too far off. Like this, ideally, this should be aiming for end of next year, beginning of 2025.
Yeah.
Guys, next we got Star Wars Outlaws from massive Ubisoft. This is coming next year. It is an open world single player game. You play as Kay Vess. The full trailer, the gameplay trailer, was shown off at Ubisoft Forward. Now, I don't know. I watched it. I don't know if you guys saw it. The reveal trailer, I think, was good. I think it gave a very Star Wars tone. Like, it looked really good, everything going on. The gameplay, this game looks fantastic. Like, no, I'm not a Star Wars guy. I don't even think I will probably end up playing this game because I tend not to play the Star Wars games, except Battlefront I played. But this game looks genuinely fantastic. Third person, the combat, all the movement, everything looks wonderful. So, Kyle, did you have a chance to check this one out?
Yeah. I liked Massive since they made The Division. I wasn't so super hot on The Division 2. It kind of just felt like more of the same, which was, my problem with sequels to live service games. But I thought that the trailer was cool, and then they showed us the gameplay, and it looked really good. I don't know if I'll check it out. But because I'm not like super big into like Star Wars, but I thought that everything looked good, and I think that maybe along with like Fallen Order and like Survivor and stuff, that this might be like along that like caliber of like Star Wars games.
That's a good company to keep, certainly. Amaan, I know you're a bigger
Yeah.
Star Wars fan than
Yeah,
either
yeah.
Kyle
I'm
and I.
definitely gonna play this. The gameplay looked great again, but I was hoping for something a little different because we already have that single player sort of Star Wars game and start the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor game. So I was hoping more of a Star Wars RPG where you create your own character, go into the world of Star Wars. That would have been more up my alley. But yeah, overall I think it looks pretty cool. And yeah, it's a a heist Star Wars open world game. So seems cool.
Sam in the chat describes it as Star Wars GTA, which is probably an apt comparison from
Yeah.
everything I've seen.
I honestly
Amaan,
would. Yeah, sir, go ahead.
do you know if like how into like the canon this game is? Because I know
It's set around the time of the original trilogy.
Okay,
That's
because
all.
It's in the original
Yeah.
trilogy timeline, right?
That's all.
okay, because
haven't looked into
I
it.
know when Battlefront 2 was coming out, they made a huge deal about how the story was canon and how it fit like into like the timeline and everything. And I just hadn't heard anything about this one, so I didn't know if it was just something they were just having fun with, or if it was actually part of it.
Well, we know.
I think it's set around the original trilogy around that time.
We know Survivor and Fallen Order are canon, right?
Like they're canon.
Like
they're set around where the Obi-Wan Kenobi show was set around that time period.
Just after Order 66 or whatever.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
canon between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Apparently,
interesting.
It's awesome. I'm glad for Star Wars fans. The IP is finally getting some love after EA desecrated it for 10 years, doing nothing. So. Next, guys, we got 33 Immortals from Thunder Lotus. This is coming 2024 to Game Pass. The big draw here, I think, is the 33-player co-op that it touted. I thought the art style looked really cool. Apparently has some roguelite elements. The gameplay looked fun. 33-player co-op is wild. I will love to see, like, I'm intrigued to try this simply to see how many people we can get in one lobby before like lag kicks in or something breaks. So Kyle, I'm gonna throw it over to you first. 33 Immortals, what was your impression?
Cool art style. Glad it's coming to Game Pass because I can jump in, like you said, get a feel for it, just try it out, have some fun. The roguelite stuff kind of puts me off a little bit, but I'll still give it a shot. And I think it could be like a fun weekend game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope it's not too long. Right?
I want a nice short experience.
Mm-hmm. Amaan, how you feeling?
Yeah. I think the 33-player co-op is what's going to attract most people. I assume a lot of streamers are going to collaborate and play this game. So yeah, I think the art style looks cool, and I don't mind it being roguelike because you're playing with at least 4 or 5 other people, so it shouldn't be super hard to get through. But yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, we don't know how hard the game is. I know at the Xbox Extended Showcase, we're going to talk about, but Phil Spencer was playing with the developers and showing it off a little, and it looked fun. And the big thing that's getting memed is when Phil came on screen, his title said gamer instead of CEO, just said gamer. So it looks good. I'm excited, keeping an eye on that one for sure. But also coming to Game Pass, guys, a little sooner than that one, September 21st. Payday 3 got a trailer, got dated. I don't really have much to say about this one except it looks like more Payday. I'm glad it's coming to Game Pass because I think this is a good game for Game Pass. Those multiplayer games where you can hop in with your friends, try it out, have a good weekend, and then maybe bounce off, because I don't know how much of an improvement this is over Payday 2 from what I've played. It looked very similar. So, Kyle, what are we feeling? Payday 3? Gonna try it out?
Maybe if people are interested, I'll try it out. It looked a lot more action oriented than I liked. I always liked Payday doing like stealth and sneaking in and like getting away with everything, kind of stealth like. But I'm also like, I don't know. I just don't know how big like the Payday audience is nowadays. Has it has it gone? It came and gone. Like, are there people who want Payday 3 even? Like, I don't even know. So I think it's a good thing it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Amaan, Payday, how we feeling?
Yeah, probably not gonna play this one. But yeah, at least it got announced. I thought it might be delayed to next year, but hey, might pick up a few fantasy points. But
Yeah,
yeah,
or lose
nothing
some.
much.
Yeah.
Nothing more than that.
I counterpicked this in fantasy, by
Yeah.
the way. So yeah, let's see how it does. Payday 2 came out 10 years ago, guys. So it's
Yep.
been 10
Wow.
years.
I mean, that did not look like it was in development for 10 years.
No,
It
I'm not really
looked like
sure.
they reused like 90% of Payday 2, and
I just looked on Steam charts, and 20,000 active players as of 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so Payday is still got a decent sized community.
That's a decent size. I'm sure it's getting some post announcement like bump from Payday 3 being announced. But that's still good.
My big thing is the console versions need to be parity with the PC versions. I don't remember if they said this as crossplay, but one of the big things about Payday 2 was the developers just abandoned the console versions. They were broken and they were like, we're out, peace. And that left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths. So they're going to have to actually earn some trust here. But
it's Embrace publisher for Payday, right? Or do they own the studio, or
I don't.
Something like that. Yeah.
I hope not. They're probably getting fired. Publisher, no, it's being published by Deep Silver Play. So it's being published by them, but I don't believe they. I don't know if they own the team.
Sure.
No, it says the independent.
Yeah, probably.
No, they're good. They don't own the developer. They just publish it. So we'll move on. Because the next announcements I'm super excited for, and I know they weren't shown off back to back, but I am going to lump them together because this is the Persona block, okay? Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Tactica both were finally officially announced after being leaked a few days prior to the showcase. Persona 3 Reload is a remake of Persona 3. It will not include things from FES or the portable version. And Persona 5 Tactica is coming November 17th, 2023. Both are coming to Game Pass, with Persona 3 Reload coming early next year. I'm just as hyped when they got leaked as I was when they showed them. I think Persona 3 Reload looks phenomenal. I'm so glad I didn't play the portable version. I don't care if it's missing the other content. This looks like the best way for me to experience it. And then a Persona 5 Tactics game, sign me up. Just being back in the world with those characters. I can't wait. This is a Kevin game. Kyle, my fellow weeb, how are we feeling about the Personas?
One of the best announcements. I wish it hadn't been leaked, but one of the best announcements of the showcase for me. Persona 3 looks so good. It's clear that they took the time to make it, look and bring it up to modern Persona standards, and I think it can sit alongside Persona 5 and Persona 4 now. Not that it wasn't good before, but it was kind of like the black sheep
it was
game, where it didn't hold up as well. There were too many multiple versions, so I'd like to see this being the version going forward. If they do add more support to it going forward, that's fine, but it looks great. And then the tactic game, super fun. It looks a little less serious with the chibi art style. But I think coming to Game Pass will be a fun time to just hop in, get back with those characters, have a fun little adventure, and then hop out.
Amaan, I don't know your history with Persona.
I played Persona 5 Royal. That's about it. But
great.
But yeah, I love Persona 5 Royal, and this looks more of the similar art style. I know Persona 3 had quite a different art style, or it was more sort of isometric compared to Persona 5 and Persona 4. So yeah, I'm excited to check this out. I actually didn't know it leaked. I knew something was out there, but I never watched the trailer or anything. But yeah, watching it live, it looked really good. So yeah, I'm excited to jump in. Persona 5 Tactica, not too keen on it. The art style didn't really sell me, so probably not for me.
Okay. Well, both are coming to Game Pass, like I said. So if you change your mind, they're always right there. Next, we got a gameplay trailer and it was a pretty lengthy one for Avowed, Obsidian's next game that was announced 3 years ago, I believe. 4 years ago? It was announced a few years ago at this point.
Yeah,
All we
2020.
had was that little tiny CG hand movement, and we finally got gameplay of this. They talked about it more at the extended showcase. It does take place in the Pillars of Eternity universe. It does... It is not Skyrim. Okay. I want everyone to know this because what you see in the trailer, you're like, oh, it's Obsidian Skyrim. They said that this is on the size and scope of the Outer Worlds. So this is a bite-sized RPG. This isn't a giant 60, 70 hour Western RPG. This is more of probably a 20-ish hour get in, enjoy yourself, play the game. I liked what I saw. It wasn't really what I expected. I thought it was going to be a little darker in tone, look a little more almost realistic when compared to what we first saw with the CG trailer. That being said, I'm completely fine with the direction they are taking. I still think the game looks really fun. It looks like a Kevin game, like one of those fantasy Western RPGs. So, Amaan, I think you wanted to talk about Avowed, so I'm gonna throw it to you first.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I love The Outer Worlds, one of my favorite games. I thought it was a really good RPG. Yeah, it looks like there was an art style change for Avowed, because I think the footage we got a few years ago was in engine. But I don't know. I can't remember. I might have been CGI or an engine, but yeah, it looked great. The magic looked great. It basically was a fantasy medieval Outer Worlds. The art style was very similar. And in the extended showcase, they did say something. It'll have instead of being a fully open world, have zones where similar to the Outer Worlds, where you travel to the planet instead of you can't just walk to the place. So it's interesting to see because I thought this game would be much larger in scope. I thought it would be more of the of a Skyrim level game. But I don't mind it, honestly. It's an Western RPG, and I'm looking forward to it.
Kyle, Avowed, thoughts?
Obsidian is crushing it. It looks great. I've seen a lot of people criticizing it. I don't get it. I thought everything looked awesome. I think a medieval like magic fantasy adventure on the scale of the Outer Worlds sounds great. I played the Outer Worlds. It was good. I dropped it because I'm just not super big on more like the sci-fi kind of adventure like that. Like, you know, it's got to be really special to hook me. So I think everything looks great, and I think Obsidian is probably the most consistent studio that I've
definitely their best pickup from 2018 so far. Because they've released Grounded, Outer Worlds was before the acquisition, but and Pentiment was great, by the way. I really enjoyed that game, and looking forward to Avowed. I'm curious, are you guys gonna, now that you're excited for this game, gonna jump into Pillars of Eternity? Because I'm planning on doing that after Ragnarok.
No, I wish it wasn't set in the Pillars of Eternity world. I wish there was no connection. I have no interest in playing Pillars of Eternity.
They did say you can just jump right into it. It's just the same location.
Yeah, which is what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna play.
No, I like a nice bit of world building. So if I want to play like the Pillars of Eternity for some background, so I am familiar with like the locations and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited for this.
I just want to do cool hand signals and make magic appear. Like that's really the benefit for what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's keep this train rolling. I don't have much to say about the next one. Sea of Thieves has a crossover with The Legend of Monkey Island. Very cool for Sea of Thieves fans.
Sea of players. Yep.
Asobo is making Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 that looks like they're adding a ton of stuff like saving people, a bunch of cleanups. Like they're adding gameplay elements to Microsoft Flight Simulator, basically, is how I described it. I'm not the audience for this, so I don't have much to say about it. I went from a very high when I saw Asobo to a low of being disappointed when I saw Planes. So if anyone else has anything to just chime in, they can. Otherwise, we'll keep this train rolling.
Yeah, I'm curious. Why didn't they just update the existing Microsoft Flight Simulator? Because there isn't much changes to the way the game functions, except for new airplanes, I guess. But hey, if more people want to buy it, sure.
I think they're adding a lot of gameplay mechanics though, like the rescue stuff, like the
Mhm.
Yeah,
building.
with the new like vehicles, you could say, but
Mhm.
nothing. The controls haven't changed much. There isn't a big step forward. It could have easily been an expansion, is what I mean. But
Possibly,
yeah.
possibly. I'm not. I'm sure if you're in the flight sim community, you might
Oh,
be able to
my
correct me.
dad loves Flight Simulator, by the way. I see him occasionally just opening my Xbox and playing Flight Simulator. He loves that game. So yeah,
Weird.
for all the Flight Simulator fans out there.
Hello, Happy Cloud Gamer. Thanks for showing up. Happy to see you. Next trailer, guys. We'll move on. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. We got a in-engine cinematic trailer, and we finally got the release date, 2024. I am probably one of, if not the biggest Hellblade fan around. I absolutely adore that game. I think what it did from a storytelling perspective, what it did from an audio perspective, is something that still hasn't really been matched for me. Just the way it handles mental health issues, and this game looks to be pushing the envelope and raising the bar for that. Just even hearing the audio as you were listening to that trailer back and forth, and the visuals look absolutely stunning. This was captured on Series X, so this is still my most anticipated game of this generation. I cannot wait to play it. My only critique: we need to see combat next time. We need combat. But Kyle, Hellblade, you were the one that actually introduced me to Hellblade. I remember you texted me to say I should play this game. How are we feeling about Hellblade 2?
Almost the same. I'm not gonna say it's my most anticipated. I am really looking forward to it. I agree that the audio just sounds amazing, and I'm so glad they're continuing with that theme. Well, I actually I hope it's a different like overall theme that they're tackling in this one, and which I think it will be as it relates to
everything we've heard. I feel I'm pretty sure
her
it's a
journey
different.
and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just want to see combat. I want to see them improve combat, because combat is really the only. It was good. It was not great. It was like passable. Like just like good enough in the first one. So I want to see a big improvement in that next time.
Amaan, Hellblade 2.
Yeah, I'm with Kyle. This is the third time we're seeing the game, and we haven't really seen much combat. For the third time we're seeing it, I would have hoped it would be coming out a lot sooner, and I would obviously have hoped to see more combat. But hey, take your time. As long as the game is fully fleshed out and good. I wonder what the scope for this game is compared to the first one. Is it gonna be more? Is there gonna be a lot more combat, or is it still gonna be one of those 14-hour short experiences? So we still don't know that yet. So I'm curious to see what it is. Is it like a big 20-hour deep story, or is it more a short walking simulator like the first one? So I'm curious to see what it is. But yeah,
I've seen
this
some
trailer didn't do
people
much for me.
bring up those concerns that it's just going to be more of the same. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is up for debate. I can't imagine that Microsoft is hyping this game up and touting it as like one of their big games, and it's going to be another 6-hour walking sim with puzzle elements. Because as much as I love Hellblade 1, and I do love Hellblade 1, the game is incredibly short. Like you can beat it in 6 to 7 hours. I think if you double that, yeah, I did 100%. Yeah, if you double that, get it into the teens, and then you update the combat and maybe make it. I still want it to be a linear experience, but maybe make it a little more expansive on like some elements in there. I think you have a really really good game that you can continue to build on. People have been touting this like, well, this is going to be God of War for Xbox, and I don't think it's going to be, maybe on a cinematic storytelling level, but I do not think we're going to get the semi-open world that like God of War Ragnarok has, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one came out around Yeah, the first one came out around 2018, right? 2018, 2017.
I think it's
But
2017.
yeah, my thing is, if it's the first one came out nearly 5 years ago, this should be a big jump for the first one. I'm not saying I want it to be like God of War, but there should be a lot more things we can do instead of just walking and solving puzzles. And even if it's double the 6 hour mark, I really wouldn't want to be just walking and solving puzzles for 14 hours. I want there a lot. I want a lot more to be there. Different types of gameplay. If it's something different. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what they have. I'm still a little curious. Not sure if it's gonna be a day one pickup, but interested to see more.
Hopefully hear more about the Game Awards or a developer
Mm-hmm.
direct later towards 2024. But let's keep going, guys. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth got announced. Reveal trailer. Looks like Ichiban is coming over to Hawaii early 2024. I think I might be the only one excited on this panel for it. I know we got some Like a Dragon / Yakuza fans in the Discord. So this one's for you. Can't wait to play it, but I don't know anything about the game because the trailer was just Ichiban naked.
Yeah, I mean, I played the first Like a Dragon. I think it was you who was really pushing me to play it. I think you and Tom. Yeah, I played it for a couple of hours. Not my thing.
It's not for you.
Too many cutscenes. But yeah, excited for the Yakuza fans, I guess. But yeah.
All right, guys. Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online are getting expansions. I don't care.
Who cares?
Moving on. Kyle, this one, Path of the Goddess got announced. The new Capcom IP coming to Game Pass. I know you were pretty excited about this one when it got revealed.
Yeah, this looks super cool. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm glad Capcom's doing. I was gonna say something more Japanese, but they're always doing weird Japanese stuff. So I'm here for it. I don't really need to see more. I'm sure I will see more by the time it comes out, but
it doesn't have a date yet. Yeah, I've gone back. I thought somewhere in my mind it was 2024, but I went and looked and there was no date on the trailer.
Yeah.
So
I'd imagine 2024 though.
I'm sure the way it looked, I was like, I feel like they're kind of getting it for a 2024 release.
This was one of the ones that actually had more gameplay than most in it. So I'm confident. I feel pretty good it'd be 2024.
Amaan, anything to say about this one?
I mean, it didn't do much for me. I guess probably need to see a little bit more before getting into it. But yeah, not much to say, to be honest.
All right. I feel the same. Capcom, I know, Kyle, you love them. That's great. I'm more of the Sega guy if we're going for those Japanese third parties. But
yeah, I mean, Resident Evil is the only Capcom game I enjoyed, let's just say. But yeah.
Forza Motorsport coming October 10th. Finally got a release date. Very cool. Excited for all you car fans. That's all I have to say about it. We got an Overwatch trailer for their PvE mode coming August 10th. I have nothing to say about that either. Cool for the Overwatch fans. Jusant, Don't Nod. This was the climbing game. Apparently it's coming this fall. It is coming to Game Pass. Art style didn't really do it for me. I don't really want to be a mountain climber, so this isn't a game for me. I recognize that it probably appealed to other people out there, but not for me. Amaan, how are we feeling about
I like the art style. I thought the art style was interesting. Some of the mechanics look cool as well. As long as it's a short experience, I'm willing to jump in and spend some time in it. But if it's like a 20-hour game, probably not.
Kyle?
Hard pass.
Hard pass. Don't Nod. I'm excited for Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, but not this one. Next, Still Wakes the Deep from the Chinese Room. This looked like a scary oil rig horror game coming to Game Pass next year. This one did nothing for me. It looked pretty boring, if I'm being honest.
I'll wait for reviews.
I'll wait for more gameplay, I guess, because we only got very little of it. And I did like the horror vibe they're going for. It looked kind of creepy, but yeah, I probably need to see more.
Dungeons of Hinterberg. This is an RPG Zelda-esque game coming next year to Game Pass. I think the title is terrible. I think that's a dumb name for a video game. I think the game itself looked really cool. You play as like a girl who's exploring a different dungeon every day, and you had some different perspectives, some gameplay mechanics. This one is on my radar for sure. Just a silly name though. But either of you two looking forward to this one?
Not really. Not
Okay.
If I want to play Zelda, I'll go play Zelda.
All right. Keanu Reeves, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty finally has a release date, September 26th. Idris Elba's coming. They're revamping a bunch of stuff. As I've said before, I played 5 hours of Cyberpunk. I thought it sucked, so not for me. Kyle, I know you have no interest in Cyberpunk, so I'm going to go straight to Amaan here. He loves Cyberpunk.
You all know how much I love Cyberpunk. One of my favorite games of all time. And excited to get a DLC expansion. It's supposed to be free. Is it supposed to be a free expansion?
No, so it was supposed to be. If you bought the Xbox, the Cyberpunk Xbox, then you were going to get the 2 DLCs included.
Okay.
But then they canceled one of them, and they're just doing this one expansion. So from my understanding, if you own the Xbox Cyberpunk edition console, you're going to get your account is going to get refunded the cost of this. So you're going to get the $35 in your account to go buy this. But otherwise it is a $30-something expansion.
Yeah. I'm excited for this expansion. Hopefully there are people. The early reviews from Jess Corden have said it's really good, and so looking forward to it.
City Skylines 2 console release coming October 24th. Game Pass. Tom was excited for this one, but shout out to my game of the show maybe next, guys. Metaphor ReFantasio coming 2024 from Atlas. This one did not get leaked. This is coming from the team that made Persona 3, 4, 5. They spun off to do their own thing. This is more of a fantasy setting. I've watched this trailer 500 times since it was revealed. It looks so good. I love the art style. I love everything going on here. This is one of my most anticipated titles for next year. Kyle, how you feeling over there? Sleepy, apparently. But how are we feeling about Metaphor ReFantasio?
I'm more excited for this than probably almost any other game coming out in the next year.
Wow. Okay.
Did this have a release date?
2024.
2024. It looked so good. It looked like the fantasy Fire Emblem meets Persona, and I'm just like, I love all of this.
Yes. It had some cool. I going back and rewatching the trailer. I don't know what they're talking about. It's all in Japanese, and none of the subtitles make any because of no context. But they have some cool, like your eyes glowing yellow type thing going on. I'm like, okay, clearly there's some like power ups going on in this universe. I just love the art. The art style is so beautiful for this game. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Amaan, how are we feeling about Metaphor?
Probably need to see a little bit more. See, the main draw to Persona for me is the slice of life elements. You know, I can do infiltrate a palace and then come back, enjoy a little bit of slice of life, and then jump back in again. So if this has those elements in it, I'll probably play it. But if not, I'm not so sure.
Okay. Next up, Towerborn from Stoic. They made the Banner Saga games. This is a co-op kind of Castle Crashers-esque game coming to Game Pass next year. I think the art style is really cool. They've talked a little bit more about this. It is a live service game with some roguelite elements, which don't fill me with a lot of joy because I was pretty high on the initial reveal. I was like, this looks like a game like we could hop in with some friends and have a good time, kind of Castle Crashers-esque. I'm still interested to try it. I'm not entirely sold about it, but how are we feeling, Amaan?
I like the art style. The 2.5D combat looked cool, and again, co-op. So if people are willing to play with me, yeah, sure.
Kyle?
Same. I think it'll be fun. But the more I've heard about it, the less excited I've gotten.
That's kind of how I'm feeling, to be honest. All right, guys, rounding out the showcase, Clockwork Revolution from In Exile. No release date. This is In Exile, obviously revealing their first game since joining Xbox Game Studios. Kyle, I'm going to throw it over to you. How are you feeling about Clockwork Revolution?
It looks awesome. This looks way better than anything they've made before in the past. I think that it clearly has a lot of, at least from that trailer, it has a lot of BioShock inspiration, and I love BioShock. So I'm cautiously optimistic. The last game that originally looked like it had BioShock inspiration was Atomic Heart, and I wasn't a fan of that. So
yes, for sure. Amaan, how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm super excited for this one, especially the part where you control the environment around you and what happens into in the future in the game. Really excited about that. And then Exile know how to make a good RPG. Wasteland 3 was amazing, and from what I've heard from RPG YouTubers like Mr. Matty Plays and Exile know how to make a very damn good RPG. So yeah, really looking forward to this. This is like their first AAA scoped RPG, you can say. And yeah, I think hopefully they do wonders.
I'm not a BioShock guy, so I recognize this. When I saw it, I was like, "This." I know who this is going to appeal to. Kyle, I knew it was going to appeal to. It didn't do much for me, but I think it has the potential to be a really good game.
Yeah, it's not like BioShock, I guess. It has a similar environment, but it's more of an RPG. BioShock was more like a like a single player.
When I say BioShock, I mean more of like the
environment,
the feel, atmosphere.
Yeah, that was definitely there.
Rounding out the showcase, guys, they announced a new Xbox Series S model. It comes in black with 1 terabyte. Woo, cool. Yay. Before we talk about Starfield, we're going to do the Xbox Extended Showcase announcements, guys. Just because there's a quick of those, and then we'll go to Starfield. So, High on Life. I'm echoing through someone, by the way. High on Life is getting a horror comedy DLC called High on Knife. It is coming soon. Very cool. I don't know what else to say. The trailer is funny. I liked High on Life. I know, Kyle, you liked it until it broke on you. But
yep. So I'm never going to touch it again.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to go back for the DLC, to be honest. But
having said that, I was doing knife-only High on Life playthroughs before anyone else. So
stop me if there's a game you guys want to talk about, but I think we'll just go through these because they're not crazy. The First Descendant, a new third-person looter shooter, is announced. Cool. Go Mecha Ball is coming to PC and Xbox in early 2024. Game Pass. This game looked silly. You kind of went into a Metroid ball, and then you came out and started blasting people. The Lamplighters League gets a new trailer and release date of October 3rd, also coming to Game Pass. Phasmophobia announced that it's coming to consoles in August. 10 ID at Xbox games were announced for Game Pass. They are Galacticare, Tectonica, Another Crab's Treasure, The Wandering Village, Neon White, Harold Halibut, Minico's Night Market, The Bookwalker, Sea of Stars, and Little Kitty Big City.
I might try Neon White. I've heard good things about it, and Sea of Stars I'll try definitely.
Yeah, Sea of Stars, I'm super excited for it. I popped off a little bit when they announced it's coming to Game Pass. I think that's awesome. I was going to buy it no matter what, but the fact that I can get it on Game Pass is awesome. I'm glad that Sabotage Studios is getting a bag for this. Little Kitty Big City gives me paparazzi vibes, so I'm kind of here for it. Another Crab's Treasure is apparently a Souls-like game where you play as a crab, but the developers tweeted that they were going to include difficulty and accessibility options to make the game easy. So the game looked a lot of fun, but then it said Souls-like. I was off. Now might be back in. Other than that, Neon White, I have to play because Sean Capri and Seth Sturgill would never let me hear the end of it if I did not play Neon White.
I hope you play as a crab in that game. And
you do.
No, yeah, but then you fight what would be like the normal Soulsborne main characters. I hope those are the enemies.
No, you fight other sea creatures. There's plenty of gameplay out. You fight other sea creatures and you can put like tin cans on your back as like armor and stuff. It's silly.
Missed opportunity.
I don't know where Amaan went, but let's get into our discussion about Starfield. Obviously they had a Are any? Oh, sorry. We have a question in the chat from Happy Cloud Gamer. Are anyone going to play Sea of Thieves, Monkey Island? Unfortunately, not. I'm not a Sea of Thieves guy, so not for me. I recommend checking out Captain Logan, our friend over at the Keelhauled podcast. They probably have a good community over there if you're looking for people to play with. Starfield, though. Todd Howard, after the Hour Direct, confirmed that the game will be 4K 30 FPS on Series X and 1440p 30 FPS on Series S to, quote, ensure consistency of performance. Phil Spencer defended the decision as a creative decision and not a hardware limitation. Guys, I want to talk about that because we have a question from Alpaca Tom says, does 30 FPS Starfield matter to you? So let's talk about Starfield and let's talk about 30 FPS because for me personally, I don't care that this is only 30 FPS. I think people are seriously I've seen people blaming the Series X, being like, we need mid-gen refreshes. The consoles aren't powerful enough. Clearly, this is an indicator of that. And I have to say, you all don't know what you're talking about. Okay. There is no game that will probably come out the entirety of this generation that is on the size and scale of Starfield. The scope of this game means that they have to limit it in some way. They've clearly decided, hey, we want the fidelity, so we're going to go that route. And you can tell if you watch the 1 hour direct, there are so many systems in this game. I'm excited for Starfield. I've long been excited for Starfield. I walked away from that direct feeling very overwhelmed and worried that like I'm going to get in here and there's going to be too much for me and it's just going to beat me down. We can talk about any specific elements you guys want to talk about, but Kyle, I want to throw over you 30 FPS and your overall impressions of the Starfield Direct.
The Starfield Direct was awesome. The building Optimus Prime for your spaceship, for that customization, the sim elements of navigating and flying around, all of that looked great. The different factions and the way that they were like talking about things you could do out in the universe sound awesome. I'm super excited to be like a rogue space pirate and just, kill everyone. But I am so sick of babies crying to their mommies about 30 FPS because I'm gonna say something. Half of you didn't and couldn't tell the difference between 30 and 60, probably until someone pointed out to you, and you probably still can't tell the difference unless someone points it out to you. You're just repeating headlines that are thrown out there to exaggerate things, and you don't understand what you're talking about, because if they wanted to, they could make the game, I don't know, 900p run at 60 or more FPS. The issue is that, like they said creatively, they want it to run at 4K or 1440 if you're on the Series S, and then they locked it at 30. I don't see an issue with that. You want to know what other game runs 30 or maybe sub 30 sometimes? Tears of the Kingdom. You want to know what's one of the greatest games ever made? Tears of the Kingdom.
I agree with you. I'm sick of the conversation itself. I've seen a lot of backlash, a lot of people coming for them. I would love a 1080p 60 option for me personally, but I'm also just going to respect what the developers want to do. Y'all act like you haven't played a 30 FPS game and had fun before. Did y'all start playing video games yesterday? Like, we've played 30 FPS games for 20, 30 plus years at this point. Like, this is nonsense. I'm here to talk about Starfield and the actual mechanics, because the big thing for me that gets me excited about Starfield isn't the shipbuilding, isn't the immersive sim stuff that you're talking about, Kyle. It's the character building. I think the choosing your background, choosing like some traits and how those traits interplay with the world, and like being able to talk yourself out of situations, opening up different dialogue options, side quests. That is what I'm intrigued about. I'm also really interested in building a crew of people that like have specific stats and different traits, so you can always have a different experience. Like my crew is going to be completely different from Amaan's crew and Kyle's crew, and that is what I'm looking forward to in this game. I think the combat looks very good. Like we were watching that trailer, and none of us knew watching the trailer, like, is this 60, is it 30? I'm sure it was 60 playing on a PC when they were showing us the gameplay, but even then, it looks good. I can't complain. Like what I saw, the gameplay looks really good. The RPG elements are there. If I can get past the systems that I find overwhelming, this could be a phenomenal experience, phenomenal RPG that I will fall in love with. But Amaan, Starfield, I gotta hear from you.
Yeah, I think about the 30 FPS thing. This is a type of game where you rather have them sacrifice fidelity over the detail in the game to provide a 60 FPS experience. And I think the combat looked really smooth. Again, it was probably running on a PC, but yeah, I had no complaints there. But yeah, I'm with Kyle. I'm more excited about the immersive sim side of things. Building my own ship, getting my crew. Assigning people to their jobs at their outposts. Exploring the massive open world. And yeah, there's just so much to do where it's kind of overwhelming. I'm with you there as well, Kevin. But yeah, the character building, if they have everything they need to make a really good RPG. And yeah, I think the main question now is, will they deliver on it? And if they do, I think this has the potential to be one of the greatest games ever, because I don't think any game ever has had so much detail and so many systems in it.
I will say my only concern is the procedural generation of the planets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have to see what it's like, but I'm just worried that a lot of planets are going to be either full of just nothing but minerals and like resources, or it's going to be a lot of like similar objectives, like when you go to a planet, like, oh, clear this outpost or whatever. But I mean, everything that we saw looked great, and it's not a competitive FPS, people. I've never once been like, oh man, this game is no longer fun because it's not 60 FPS.
I played Control at 30 FPS. There's an option for 60, and I played Control at 30. Like, and fun fact, everyone, the majority of gamers prefer quality / fidelity mode over performance mode.
Yep.
They don't. I know there's a subsection of us on the hardcore on the internet that love frames. Majority of people want it to look nice. They don't care about the frames.
I do. If there's 4K ray tracing and it's 30 FPS, I'm gonna go 4K ray tracing. I rather have it look really good than feel a little bit smoother, because there isn't really, in my opinion, a massive difference between 30 and 60 FPS.
I'm just glad right now. My ideal way to play Starfield is third person, because I don't play Bethesda games in first person. Okay, I'm a third person guy, and I'm gonna make a melee build. I'm gonna punch the crap. He sent some dude flying with an uppercut. I don't even care about the guns. All right, I'll have a gun, but I'm looking to punch some people, get a knife, start hacking them. Like, that's gonna be so much fun. Anything else we want to say on Starfield, guys? I'm really impressed. If I had the amount of disposable income to buy all the collectible stuff, I probably would do it, but I'm not an idiot like that, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, it just looked really good. And I think from the last time we saw it last year, I didn't think it looked great. But now with that extra year they had, it looks way more fleshed out. There's one location in the game, can't remember which one it was, but you could see the comparison of it being shown last year and then now. It looks a lot more detailed, a lot more freshed out, and yeah, I'm excited to see where this end game ends up. I'm probably gonna regret counter picking it in fantasy, because I was doing that based off last year's look, and it didn't look great, but now it looks amazing.
Tay in the chat says, I'm interested to know how it runs on Series S. They said 1440p 30 FPS, so nearly the same as it should run on Series X. That's not to say like lighting and anything like that Series X can handle more, but resolution and FPS wise, they are pretty similar across the consoles. So I'm excited for Starfield. Can't wait. September 6th this year. It's finally coming. We're finally going to have it in our hands. I'm probably going to take the day off and just binge Starfield and really go into it. So, guys, let's quickly talk about the Ubisoft Forward, because they did have some announcements. I'll skip the ones that aren't new news, like X Defiance coming this summer. Okay. Just Dance is coming in October. Okay. We got another Prince of Persia trailer. Captain Laserhawk, a Blood Dragon remix, got a Netflix trailer. I don't even know what that was. Okay. Skull and Bones is getting a beta, which they announced for consoles and PC, and then took away the console versions, and now the beta's only on PC. That literally happened hours later. The Rayman DLC for Mario & Rabbids is coming. Roller Champions is getting a Jet Set Radio event. The Crew Motorfest got a cinematic trailer. That game is coming out September 14th. Brawlhalla has a Combat Evolved Halo crossover where you can play as the Master Chief and the Arbiter. They're coming to Brawlhalla. I think that was awesome. The gameplay looked awesome. If I was into Brawlhalla, I would play that, but I'm not. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, I think, was the biggest announcement. We finally got gameplay reveal trailer of that. That is coming December 7th, 2023. It's Far Cry with a Avatar skin.
Yeah, it's basically Far Cry. I would have much preferred it being third person. I think that would have attracted more people as well, but it being first person, it's just Far Cry reskin.
Wasn't at all what I expected, to be honest.
Bold prediction, I don't think any of these Ubisoft games are going to hit or be like huge financial successes.
I think Star Wars might.
That's next year. That's coming next year.
That's next year, though. I meant I meant these ones.
Yeah, but I also want to talk about Prince of Persia. I thought that looked really cool. A fresh take on the IP could be interesting.
I'm in on Prince of Persia. I don't know if I'm day one. I think it looks good. I still have some reservations. Something about it is just feeling a little off to me, and I don't know what it is.
Just Ubisoft, I guess. but yeah, I'm surprised you're not into Brawlhalla because that's very similar to Smash, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little more.
Looks, I guess.
It's a little more. You get hit once and you're gonna get comboed to death. It's very fast paced and like brutal. Like the skill gap for new players is pretty rough. Maybe some things you'll care about, Kyle. Assassin's Creed Nexus is a VR trailer coming this holiday. Assassin's Creed codenamed Jade was shown off. Register for the closed beta now. This is an open world Assassin's Creed mobile game in China.
No, not going to do that either.
Then you got a Mirage story trailer.
I think Mirage looks really good.
Yeah.
It's more of that single player Assassin's Creed. Which
are you not in a Mirage, Kyle?
I am. I don't know. The main character isn't new. He was already introduced, and I don't think he's that interesting. But
what was he introduced in?
Valhalla.
How? Isn't that like completely different time period?
He was one of the he's the one who went to the freaking villages in Valhalla and showed him Ivor, I think his name was, like the way, like the whole thing about like their order and everything. But yeah, it's not important.
Yeah.
It's all a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, a bunch of nonsense. Ubisoft, their forward didn't do much for me. There was way too much talking. The presentation was too long. It should have been trailers. But last little bit of news here, guys, and then we'll get into listener questions. People Can Fly has entered into an agreement. The developers behind Bulletstorm, Gears of War Judgment, and Outriders have entered into development and publishing agreement with Microsoft, where they're developing a game based on a Microsoft IP with a budget reported $30 to $50 million. I like Outriders. People Can Fly made Gears of War Judgment, which is the worst Gears of War. So I have a mixed feeling. I don't know what IP they're making. Hopefully, it could be Gears of War, could be another spinoff. I hope they get to try their hands at something different. But judging by their past pedigree, it's got to be some sort of shooter. But we'll wait to see more on that. And if anyone else has anything to say about it, we can move into listener questions.
Yeah, I guess it's just interesting that Microsoft is out making deals. I know they have a game license out to IO Interactive. They're working on a project for Xbox, and Avalanche with Contraband. So yeah, interesting to see these third-party deals, and they could be testing of waters for studios that could potentially join Xbox in the future. So
Happy Cloud Gamer says phone game ? I don't know any phone game that will have a budget of $50 million. Is where I'm at.
Genshin Impact.
That had a budget of $50 million.
That has a budget of well over $50 million. What are you talking about?
So like initially though, like I know since they made money, but like when it launched,
like the base game,
it cost $50 million to develop.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
Where'd they get that funding from?
Honkai, Impact Third.
Oh, they used their okay. That's different though. This is like okay, I get what you're saying, but really though, this is this is gonna be a AA game at least for sure.
Yeah, Genshin's marketing budget alone was $100 million. So
Jesus.
I mean, are you surprised? It was everywhere when it came out.
It's true. That's I saw it was YouTube ads, and then I remember us texting it like, "You want to try this Genshin Impact game?" All right, guys. Listener questions. Then we will wrap this show up. I'm not going to leave that over your face, Amaan. Don't worry. Question number 1 comes from Alpaca Tom. Says Xbox Showcase game you're most excited for, and in the indie game from the extended showcase you're excited for. I think we kind of covered this, minus Hellblade and Sea of Stars.
Metaphor and Sea of Stars.
Avowed and Sea of Stars.
Great. Sea of Stars getting some love.
Mm-hmm.
Thrak asked in our Discord, and just like you can, if you want to join the Discord, link is in the description down below. What comes out first in 2024, Avowed or Hellblade 2?
Hellblade 2.
Yeah, I think Hellblade 2 because we already seen that game like 3 times, and yeah, it was rumored to be coming out this year, so I would assume Hellblade 2.
I think Hellblade's Q1 of 2024.
I think Hellblade's like spring 2023, and Avowed's more like summer or fall 2024.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think if we can get Hellblade in the first half, Avowed in the second half, and then you fill in with some other stuff that maybe is working on 2024 that we probably don't know about yet. I think that'd be a good cadence because they want 4 a year. So we know 2 that are coming next year. And then they have, well, unless they're kind of their second party deals, then we already know they probably have 2024 filled.
Yeah, something like Contraband could easily slip in there.
I don't know about Contraband, man. I don't know if that game's as close as we all think it is.
I don't know. People last year said that it was closer than we think. So wait and see.
Happy Club Gamer, yes. 50 million is not that much in 2023. However, Control was made on a budget half that, and the sequel is only getting near that. So some AAA games are still working on that budget. They just got to figure out what they can do with it. Last question comes from Taylor. He says, question for the show. I am so close to purchasing a Series X. I'm tired of having to upgrade my PC for what feels like every few years. I just want to play on my couch and forget everything else. But if I upgrade my PC, I also always guarantee myself a good computer. What do I do?
I would say upgrade the PC.
You buy the Series X or whatever he said he was going to buy. Because PC gaming is boring and not fun. It sucks sitting in this chair. It's much more comfortable to sit on your sofa and play with a controller rather than a keyboard and mouse.
I disagree. I feel much more comfortable in that chair.
Computers are for TurboTax and Minesweeper or playing solitaire during meetings at work. And that's really it. I never turn my computer on except to really do those things or record podcasts. And then I immediately turn them off because everything I want to do, I can do on my phone. And you know what? My phone's more powerful than this computer. So buy a console and actually enjoy gaming rather than this.
I have to disagree. Like I have a Series X and a PS5, but if I had the option, I'd probably get a really good PC instead of a Series X because there's a lot more I can do. And I prefer gaming sitting on a chair and a monitor instead of a TV because I feel like I'm less focused when I'm on a couch and staring at a TV. So yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, there's much more you can do, like update your drivers every time you turn it on, or figure out why things aren't working, or troubleshoot.
I also, you guys are coming to PC gaming hard, okay? I also say get the Xbox Series X. First of all, because I know you already have a good PC. What do you have, a 3070, 3080 in there already? Like, you don't always need the most top of the line graphics card. I think majority of PC players have like a 10 whatever series card. Like, they're not even rocking the crazy ones. Like, I have a 1660 Super, and that is more than enough for anything I want to do on PC. That gets me 1080p 60 FPS on most games. So the fact that you're like, oh, pushing 30s, and now I know they have the 40 series cards, like, I don't think you always need a top end computer. Like, you can wait years and then make a bigger jump on your PC. Meanwhile, you have a console that you can be comfortable playing on the couch. You can have those life features and not have to stress so much about updating everything and always trying to keep on top of the PC community. Nothing wrong with PC gaming. I don't particularly enjoy sitting at my computer. I like to turn around and play on my TV with my console. I just think everything works a little better. But yeah, I'd say just hold off. Don't update your PC. Your PC is good enough as it is, and get a Series X. That's my advice. Anything else before we go, guys? I know we're running a little long here, but we're gonna wrap it up. So, Kyle, where can people find you if they want to hang out with you?
In the Discord. Come play Diablo.
Yes, come play Diablo. Come join the Diablo clan. Amaan, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Amaan_M05 or chilling in the Discord.
And you can find me at the Muffin Mon on Twitter. It's a 1-7I and 0-7A. Follow us at Save Game Media over on Twitter. Stay up to date with our latest. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We will see you next week. Goodbye.